Good. Right. See now, why this Poisson sativum was chosen by this Mendel means Poisson sativum has some very good choices for genetic experiments like that. They are easy to cultivate and that is annual plant which can complete its life cycle within one season, so that experiments can be conducted within one season, and bisexual flowers are there so that self pollination and cross pollination both are possible. That desirable process we can do, whether we need selfing or cross hybridization, then we can do self hybridization or cross hybridization we can do. If we cross hybridization is done and new hybrids are produced against, that hybrids also fertile in nature, and there is presence of more contrasting characters. Totally 14 contrasting characters are there. 7 characters, each character with 2 traits. Total 14 characters. And this plant is very small with a large bisexual flowers. As small plant is small and bisexual flowers are large in size, artificial hybridization can be done very more rate. And the plant has short life cycle, I told you. As it is short life cycle and more number of seeds can be produced by crossing. Short life cycle and more number of seeds, that means more progeny.
More offsprings can be produced. More number of seeds can be produced in short duration. These are some choices or advantages of Poisson sativum for being a very good choice for genetic experiments. That's why Mendel chose this garden tree plant. If any other plant has same desirable all these advantages, means then that plant also we can choose for genetic character. But Mendel found that these, for crossing, Poisson sativum was well suitable, so that he took that Poisson sativum plant. Okay, if you complete, then we'll continue. And many scientists worked on the Poisson sativum plant only, but Mendel only got succeeded. Many students tried to work on Poisson sativum also. Many students did hybridization experiments before Mendel, but that experiments were not fruitful. They are not successful in their efficiency because they tried experiments in different ways. See now why Mendel got succeeded in his experiments. Complete? Is it? Can I erase? Yes, sir. Completed, sir. Yes, thank you. Why Mendel got succeeded? Many scientists before Mendel's work also they tried, but they didn't succeed. Only Mendel got succeeded. What are reasons for success of Mendel? Reasons of success of Mendel. Here, before to Mendel, many scientists were done experiments, but first of all, what is the main reason for his success is his selection of pea plants. Selection of the pea plants is the first reason. Okay, for his experimental material, he took pea plants. As he took pea plants, the pea plants are very effective and very useful in the study. So that his selection of pea plant is one thing. And here he restricted experiments to one or few pairs of contrasting characters. Restricted experiments to one or few contrasting traits or contrasting characters. One or two contrasting traits or character will be there, na? To that he limited. That means when he used to study tallness, he used to study only tall character. Remaining characters may also crossing, they were also producing some other hybrids. But he studied only tallness. If he is studying terminal flower or axial flower, only that flower position, only he studied. Only one character with two contrasting traits. Few pairs of contrasting traits or few contrasting traits he studied. One character or a pair of contrasting characters, like that he chose. And he kept a track of every experiment. He kept a track of experiments separately. Separately, he marked his results. Track of experiments means what he did and what is that result. Like that, for every experiment, he maintained separate record of experiments and results. And one thing, he had mathematical knowledge. He had mathematical knowledge. As he had mathematical knowledge and mathematical data, analysis of data is done. Analysis of data, and that analyzed data, accurate quantitative data he maintained. Accurate quantitative data. Quantitative means, I mean, in progeny, how many progenies are getting that character, like that number. Accurate quantitative data he maintained. He kept accurate quantitative data. Okay, so that this numerical data what he kept, that numerical data what he used, like mathematical knowledge and statistical knowledge, it helped in analysis of the data. What is analysis? Finding the ratios, finding the ratio, probability, like that. Probabilities or ratios, like that. That data he wants. And the result what he got, he verified his results again. He verified his results by further experiments. Once he crossed the two plants means he will get one result. That result he again verified by using some further experiments like test cross. Test cross definition I told you. What is quantitative data? Quantitative data means, suppose, hey, one plant is crossed with another plant. When these two plants are crossed, how many progeny are produced? The number. In that progeny, what is the dominant character? What is the recessive character? If they are crossed again, in next generation, what is the progeny? In that, how many dominant? How many recessive? Like that. He verified his results by further experiments. And one more thing he used large sampling size. His experiment had large sampling size. Suppose in monohybrid cross, according to our studies, there is formation of 4 which have dominant ratio 3:1, recessive, phenotype ratio 3:1, and genotype ratio 1:2:1. That we may know. But totally he got more than 1000 plants. More than in one cross, 2 plants are crossed. And when plants are crossed, we might get more than thousands of the plants. In that thousands of plants, how many are dominant, how many are recessive? That is what large sampling size. For crosses, he used many plants and kept a track record for every plant, for every report. That is large sampling size. So, as he used these steps, he got succeeded. Okay? Why Mendel experiment succeeded means because of these reasons. Okay, complete? Yeah, completed. Yes, thank you. How many students are there now in meeting? Just 96, huh? Okay. Including me 96. Then 95 students are there with me. Okay. Right. Then see one by one. Monohybrid cross. In definition, I told you. What is monohybrid cross? A cross between two parents where there is a difference in one character only. Remaining all characters are same and one character is different between two parents, then that cross is called as what? Monohybrid cross. Here he first performed that cross where a cross between true breeding traits. What is monohybrid cross means? A cross between true breeding traits. True breeding traits means all are homozygous in nature. All are homozygous in nature. True breeding traits of peas that differ in single traits, which differ in single traits. That is called what? Monohybrid cross. A cross between true breeding pea plants which differ in single traits. What is that single trait? Suppose a monohybrid cross is taken for tallness. Height means one plant will be tall, another plant will be short. Remaining all plants, remaining all characters like flower color, flower position, pod shape, pod color, seed shape, seed color, all that remaining 6 characters will be same in both parents. Only one character is different. Remaining all 6 characters may be all dominant in both parents or all recessive in both parents, or it may be random also. Whatever the character, suppose here yellow means another should also be yellow only. Green means another should also be green, like that. I mean seed color, pod color I am saying. Seed shape, round means it should be round, otherwise it is wrinkled seed means it is also wrinkled only. All 6 characters are common, equal between 2 parents, but only single character is different. That type of cross is called what? Monohybrid cross. Okay, suppose if you take an example, here a cross for height of the stem. A cross for height of the stem. Here a tall pea plant crossed with dwarf pea plant. Two contrasting trait is there, no? That is tall plant crossed with dwarf plants. Tallness is the dominant character here, whereas this one, dwarfness is the recessive character. See what happens here. A tall plant is taken and it is crossed with dwarf plants. So what happens better? You read, you note the 2 points, then I will start from the beginning of the board, from the top of the board. I need more space. Complete the 2 points. A cross between true breeding tree traits, P traits that differ in single traits. That is called as monohybrid cross. Example, a cross in pea plant for height of the stem. See now an example of monohybrid cross. Suppose a tall plant is there, that is crossed with dwarf plants. Which character? Yeah, what is your doubt? Which character is any one character? Not only tallness, total 7 characters are there. In the 7 characters, any one can be different, not only particular one. So these are parents. These are parents. So when he crosses, what will happen? Here 2 locus will be there, 2 alleles. These are 2 alleles. Here gamete formation will be capital T, capital T. 2 alleles will get separated during the gamete formation. Meiosis takes place. When meiosis is taking place, gamete is getting haploid cell. So haploid gametes are formed here. This parent will produce 2 different gametes. Now, by crossing, what will happen? See now, what are here? Gametes. These are gametes. Now what happens? If this gamete is combining with this, there is formation of capital T, small t. Or this gamete combined with this gamete. 2 parents are there. One gamete from one parent combines with another gamete. Capital T, small t. This one also. Capital T, small t. And this is combined like this, means this is also forming capital T, small t. This progeny which is produced from parents on crossing is called as F1 progeny or first filial generation. F1 or first filial generation. What he did? Again he conducted F2. How F2? F2 is done by selfing of F1 progeny. F1 progeny are selfed. When F1 progeny are selfed, what is F1 progeny? Capital T, small t is one F1, another F1 is capital T, small t. See here, how gametes are formed here? Capital T, small t will be one gamete, 2 different gametes. This will produce capital T as one gamete and small t as another gamete. This parent will give capital T as one gamete, small t as one gamete. This is the tabular column, what we use for checking the results. What is the tabular column called? This is called genetic checkerboard. Genetic checkerboard is called Punnett square. Yes. See now here, one capital T, both will combine and new progeny will be forming capital T, capital T. Capital T, small t is this one. And capital T, small t is this one. Capital T, capital T, capital T, small t. You can write a small t, capital T, no problem. Small t, capital T and small t, small t. This generation is F2 progeny. This is F2 progeny. This is one parent is producing 2 kinds of gametes. This is another parent which is producing 2 kinds of gametes. Like that, two parents are producing two different gametes. Whereas, how many types of gametes are produced by this parent? How many gametes are produced? One type of gamete, because both are dominant. Here both are recessive, same type. Only one type of gametes are produced by the parent. Homozygous condition means that will give only one type of gametes. Heterozygous condition, this is heterozygous for one gene means it will give two kinds of gametes. Yeah, here dominant character should come first, okay. But for convenience, I told you capital T, capital T, capital T, small t, capital T, and small t, like that I wrote. Like that, once he completed all these experiments, he collected the seeds. First what he did is write some points. Write some points after this. He collected seeds produced. He collected seeds produced as a result of cross between two parents, and grew them, GREW, and grew them to generate plants of F1 hybrid. To generate plants of F1. This is also called filial 1 progeny. Filial 1 progeny or first hybrid generation. This is also called filial 1 or first hybrid generation. Next point. Mendel observed that all the F1 progeny were tall. All the F1 progeny were tall, like a dominant parent, like one of its parents, and no one is dwarf. Sorry, no one was dwarf. No one was dwarf. Next point. He conducted same experiments. He conducted same experiments with other characters and found that F1 always resemble one of the parents. F1 always resembles one of the parents and trait of other parent was not seen. Trait of other parents was not seen. First point, ACB, he collected the seeds produced as a result of the cross. He grew them to germinate plants. germinate the plants of F1. That is first point, Rasibi. Okay, now next point. Mendel self-pollinated F1 generation, self-pollinated F1 generation tall plants, F1 generation tall plants to produce F2 generation or filial 2 generation, F2 or filial 2 generation. Okay, he observed that among Mendel self-pollinated F1 generation tall plants to produce F2 or filial 2 generation, F2 or filial 2 generation. He observed that Tarun Kumar, which points? He observed that among 1064 F2 plants, among 1064 F2 plants, 787 were tall, 787 were tall, and 277 were dwarf. 277 were dwarf. The ratio of tall to dwarf is, that is the ratio of tall to dwarf, that is the phenotypic ratio was 3:1. 3:1 in F2 generation. That is 3/4 are tall, 1/4 are dwarf. 3/4 are tall, 1/4 are dwarf in nature. And genotype ratio is 1:2:1. 1:2:1. Tell before point. Which point? The ratio of tall to dwarf is 3:1. Ratio of tall to dwarf is 3:1. Which is phenotype ratio. In F2 generation, that is 3/4 are tall and 1/4 are dwarf. 3/4 are tall and 1/4 were dwarf. and genotype ratio is 1:2:1. 1:2:1. Okay. See now. Here, based on this, some problematic questions may come, like numerical questions. Okay. See here, two parents were taken. What are the two parents? A tall parent with a capital T, and a dwarf parent with a small t, both are taken. Gametes are produced, and in F1 there was production of all tall plants. Okay, from this only he gave two laws: law of dominance and law of segregation. Law of dominance, which is the first law of genetics. Second law of genetics is the law of segregation. Based on this only he proposed. Based on that, see here, one dominant allele is present means then recessive allele character will not be seen. Recessive allele will not show its character when there is a dominant character. Suppose, see here, one dominant character is there, another one is recessive. All F1 progeny have one of its parent where the dominant character only present. So that all plants are getting character of one parent, another parent or character is not shown here. Because this parent has a recessive character, that recessiveness is not taken in F1. But when F1 are selfed again, like capital T small t crossed with capital T small t again, here in F2 generation there is a possibility. How many plants he observed? 1064 plants. In 1064, 787 he observed it all, and 277 how many? Yeah, 277 he observed dwarfs among total 1064. Yeah, 287 287, 277, something will come. Yeah, 77 for 886. Yeah, 277 only, not 287. Okay. So here in this he found that 787, 277, roughly 3:1. These are 3 ratio of 3/4. 787 by 1064 means roughly 3/4 will come. 277 by 1064 means that will come, 1 ratio. That means here tallness 75%, this is a 25% came. So then how he checked that genotype? Again this F1 parents are produced, that F1 parents again he crossed with recessive parents. So by crossing with a recessive parent, he tried to check genotype of the parents, genotype of F2, and genotype of F2 was found like this. Here 1/4 of plants have both characters as dominant. This is 1/4. 1/4 plants have both dominant alleles. 1/4. This is homozygous dominant. Homozygous. What is homozygous? Both alleles are dominant means then it is homozygous. But the character, phenotype character, it is getting dominant, tallness. So it is homozygous dominant. And among 1064, 2/4 are getting tallness, but they have different alleles, which are heterozygous. These are heterozygous, but they are dominant. Heterozygous dominant. And remaining these two. Then remaining one is getting both recessive, which is homozygous recessive. Recessive condition is always homozygous. recessive character K means then both genes will be recessive only. By one gene recessive, another gene dominant means recessive phenotype will not come. Recessive means it is always homozygous. Homozygous recessive. Okay, this is like this one. I mean, so heterozygous, one homozygous dominant, two heterozygous dominant, and one homozygous recessive condition. Plants genotypes were identified by the Mendel. As he identified, he formulated these results by using the genetic checkerboard, which is we are calling Punnett square. By using this Punnett square, he concluded his result. Based on his results only, he formulated that two laws. Before going to the laws of Mendel, see here how to calculate the problems related to monohybrid cross. How to solve the problems related to monohybrid cross. Write a question. I will write again. How to problems related to the monohybrid cross. Capital T crossed with small t. All F1 progeny will be capital T small t only. This is F1. In F2, capital T small t crossed with capital T small t, capital T small t, capital T small t. In Punnett square, we are getting these results. Capital T, capital T small t, capital T, small t, small t. These results we got. Based on this, in monohybrid cross, some questions or problems may come, numerical questions may come like that. When I will tell you, wait, one by one I will give questions. Monohybrid cross, right? There is monohybrid cross questions. What is the percentage of recombinants in genotype? Percentage of genotype recombination is the question. How to find the percentage of recombination? What is recombination? Genotype. This is one parental combination. This is one parental character. Yeah, CB good. 50%. Yes. This is one parent. This is one parent. What is recombinant? Non-parental genotype is recombination here. What is non-parental? This is non-parental. This is parental combination. This is also parental combination, but these two are non-parental combination. Capital T, small t. How many? 2 by 4 are common. 2 by 4 is the ratio and percentage is 50%. 50%. Okay, that is one question. What is the percentage of recombination in genotype only? Phenotype, there is no recombination because phenotypically they have same phenotypical characters are same, and the progeny F2 progeny similar to parents phenotypically. హలో క్లాస్లో ఉన్నా 5 నిమిషాల తర్వాత చేసానా తీసేసుకున్నావా ఓకే ఓకే తీసుకో ఓపెన్ చేయొద్దు నేను ఫోన్ చేస్తాను అప్పుడు ఓపెన్ చేద్దాం అవునా అయితే తొడుక్కో నేను వీడియో కాల్ చేస్తాను I am in class. I will call you after 2 minutes. Okay. F2 progeny which are similar to parents phenotypically. Hey, Varun Balaji, how? Yeah. Yeah, 50% you are saying. What is the phenotype? Hey, Olga. See here, what is the phenotype? This is tall, this is dwarf, this is tall, dwarf. Hey, you are saying 75%. I mean, parents means both parents you need to consider. Both parents. Both parent means this is similar to this parent. 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 Then answer will be 100%. Suppose F2 similar to tall parents. How many F2 progeny are similar to tall parents phenotypically? Phenotypically means then this one, 75% will come. And F2 similar to dwarf, which is phenotypically. Yeah, 25% will come. And F2 similar to parents genotypically. Both parents genotypically you wrote. Genotypically to tall parents. Hey, Yasandra. Yeah, now you got correct. F1 similar to tall parent genotypically. That means this is only. And then this is answer is 25%. F2 similar to dwarf parents genotypically. This is also 25%. And next question, F2 similar to F1. F2 similar to F1 genotypically. Yeah, 50% will come. F2 similar to F1 phenotypically. This is F1 genotypically means these two. 2 by 4, 50%. Okay. Yeah, F2 similar to F1 phenotypically means 1, 2, 3 because these are tall. All tall we need to consider. Like that, some questions may come on monohybrid cross. Okay, like that, questions may come on monohybrid class, some problems. That problems we will repeat again in next class and we will continue the class in tomorrow morning. Tomorrow full day you have classes. Morning and afternoon both NEET classes only. And from day after tomorrow up to 25th no classes. So you can use the time for CPT revision. Okay? Yeah. Thank you. You can leave. Have a nice day.